The galaxy had lived in peace for centuries. Powerful species from all corners of the stars had made their homes in the vastness of space. They built empires, formed alliances, and fought wars, but over time, the conflicts had calmed. The galaxy was ruled by those who understood the power of silence until that day. It was a morning like any other. The Galactic Arena, a place where species from across the stars gathered to test their strength and intelligence, hummed with the usual activities. Alien ships moved in and out of the arena's gates, preparing for their next challenge. The Council, a group of representatives from the most powerful species, met regularly to discuss important matters. Yet, today, something was different. A strange, unfamiliar signal echoed through the vast emptiness of space. It was faint at first, a mere whisper in the silence. But as the moments passed, it grew stronger, reaching farther than any signal should. The message came from Earth. No one had heard from Earth in hundreds of years. Most had thought the humans had disappeared, perhaps wiped out by some ancient war, or lost in the endless darkness. Their once mighty planet, once considered an insignificant speck in the galaxy, had been forgotten by the rest of the universe. But now, their signal was back. The Council was stunned. This wasn't just a simple distress call. This was something different. Something urgent. The beings who ruled the galaxy had no idea what to make of it. "Are we sure it's from Earth?" a Zorlan delegate asked. Its voice was deep, almost rumbling, as it turned to its fellow council members. The Zorlans were a species known for their incredible intelligence and strategic minds, but even they were unsure of what to do with this new development. The council's leaders exchanged glances. They had heard stories, rumors about Earth. Some said the humans had become extinct. Others whispered of ancient weapons, of ships that could tear apart entire fleets with a single blow. But no one knew for sure. Earth had always been a mystery. "We must respond," said the Syrinx representative, her voice sharp and commanding. The Syrinx were known for their brutal strength, and their species had conquered more planets than any other. They weren't afraid of anyone, not even the mysterious humans. But the unknown signal filled her with a rare sense of unease. But the message was clear now: Earth was calling out to the galaxy. And there was something about this message that felt wrong. No one could put their finger on it. It was as if the universe had just paused, holding its breath, waiting for something. On Earth, inside a hidden control center deep beneath the planet's surface, scientists and engineers worked around the clock. They had received the signal first, had seen the message flicker across their monitors. The humans knew they had to act quickly. The Council would soon know they were back. The planet had been preparing for this moment for years. For centuries, Earth had been silent, hidden from the rest of the galaxy, but now, things had changed. Technology had advanced far beyond what any species could imagine. Earth's first response was not one of fear or submission, it was a declaration. A massive ship, the Black Star, stood ready. The ship's engines hummed to life, and its crew, a mix of the bravest humans, watched as their vessel slowly rose from the surface. The Black Star was not like any other ship in the galaxy. It was a warship, one designed for a single purpose: to show the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. As the Black Star ascended into space, the signal reached its peak. The human fleet, ready and waiting, launched with precision. Every move was calculated, and every step was meant to send a message. Earth had not come back to beg for help. They had not returned to ask for peace. They had come to remind the universe of one simple truth: humanity was not weak. The Zorlan, the Syrinx, and the rest of the galaxy's most powerful species watched from their ships. The unknown signal had reached their ears, but it was not just the message that was making them nervous, it was the silence that followed. Something was coming. Something big. They could feel it, even if they didn't understand it yet. The Black Star moved toward the galactic arena, the ship cutting through space with incredible speed. Its size was immense, almost impossible to comprehend. The aliens who had long forgotten humanity were about to face something that would change everything. In the galactic arena, the Council waited. The huge viewing screens showed the Black Star's path through the galaxy. The silence that had followed the signal seemed even louder now. Each alien representative knew something was wrong, but none could speak it. No one dared to voice the fear that was beginning to grow within them. As the Black Star approached the arena, all eyes were on it. The ship had passed through space, and its presence now seemed like a quiet storm, waiting to break. The universe, for all its power and all its peace, had stopped. No one spoke. No one moved. Humanity had returned. And no one was sure if that was a blessing or a curse. The Black Star glided silently through the stars, a dark shadow against the vastness of space. Its engines hummed with quiet power, and the cold, unblinking eyes of the ship's sensors scanned the endless void ahead. As the ship neared the galactic arena, a sense of unease spread across the galaxy. No one had seen a human ship in over 100 years. No one had expected them to return. Inside the Black Star, the crew stood ready. They were not the soldiers of old, but they were just as determined. Each person aboard the ship had felt the weight of Earth's long silence, and now, they carried the responsibility to show the galaxy what humanity had become. Their mission was not one of conquest, it was a reminder. A reminder that the universe could never forget the humans again. Commander Leah Sanders stood at the helm, her fingers lightly touching the controls. She had been chosen for this mission because of her experience and resolve. But even she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The last time Earth had communicated with the galaxy, it had ended in destruction. She didn't want that to happen again. "We're approaching the arena," said her second-in-command, Lieutenant Ivor Khan, his voice steady but filled with anticipation. He watched the screens intently as the massive structure of the galactic arena loomed ahead, a symbol of peace and power. But now, it would become the stage for something far different. "Prepare for docking," Leah ordered, her voice firm, but with an edge of uncertainty. The Black Star had been built for war, but this was not a battle. Not yet. As the ship docked, the crew gathered in the observation deck. From here, they could see the vast expanse of the arena. Thousands of species had gathered over the centuries, testing their might, seeking honor. And now, Earth would enter that same arena, but on their own terms. This wasn't about proving humanity's strength, it was about showing that they could not be ignored. The galactic arena was silent. No cheering crowds, no ships ready for combat, just an eerie quiet. But that silence didn't last long. The alien leaders who had long ruled the stars, who had once dismissed Earth as a primitive planet, now found themselves forced to look at humanity in a new light. "The humans, they've returned," muttered a delegate from the Zorlan Empire. The Zorlan were the most intelligent species in the galaxy, and even they had underestimated Earth. They had thought the humans would stay small, insignificant. But this ship, this Black Star, was a statement they couldn't ignore. "What do they want?" asked the Syrinx representative, his voice a growl that echoed in the chamber. The Syrinx were a fierce, proud species who had conquered more worlds than any other. They were the galaxy's warriors, and they did not fear any species. But even the Syrinx were nervous now. The humans were not here for negotiation, they could tell. The galaxy was about to change. Before any further questions could be asked, the view screen flashed with a signal from the Black Star. It was a message from Commander Sanders herself, broadcast to the entire arena. Galactic leaders, her voice rang out, strong and clear. We, the humans of Earth, have returned to remind you of a simple truth. We do not seek war. We do not seek domination. But we will no longer be overlooked. If you wish to face us in the arena, we will fight. But if you wish for peace, we will offer it. The message hit like a shockwave. No one had expected this. The humans were not here as beggars, nor were they here to negotiate. They were here to demand respect, to prove that their long silence had not been a sign of weakness, but of waiting. They had watched the galaxy grow, and now they were ready to be a part of it. For a moment, there was nothing but stunned silence in the galactic arena. The leaders of the most powerful species in the universe were faced with a decision they had never expected to make. Would they honor the humans' request for peace, or would they challenge Earth for control of the stars? The Cyrix delegate was the first to speak. We cannot allow this. Earth's power has been dormant for too long. We will not kneel to them. But others in the arena were more cautious. The Zorlan representative, ever the strategist, spoke next. We don't know their strength. We don't know their numbers. But their message was clear. They're not here to beg. If they wanted war, we would already know. The debate began, but one thing was clear: the universe had never faced a situation like this before. Humanity, once thought weak, had returned with a power that no one could ignore. The Black Star was just the beginning. And as the debate continued, one question lingered in the minds of all the alien leaders: what had Earth become in their absence? Outside the galactic arena, the Black Star hovered in space, waiting. Commander Sanders knew that no matter what happened, the galaxy would never see Earth in the same way again. The time of silence was over. And the universe would learn that humanity was not to be underestimated. The debate inside the galactic arena raged on for what felt like hours. Leaders from every corner of the galaxy argued fiercely, each with their own view on how to handle the arrival of humanity. The council chamber, a vast, sterile room filled with shimmering light and strange holographic displays, had never felt more charged with tension. One thing was clear: nothing like this had ever happened before. Humanity's sudden return after centuries of silence had shaken the very foundation of the galaxy. There was fear in the air, fear of the unknown, fear of what Earth's message truly meant. No one knew what to expect from the humans. Would they be merciful? Or would they seek to dominate the stars? Peace, growled the Cyrix representative, his deep voice rumbling through the room. We cannot allow this. We cannot allow them to claim what is rightfully ours. The humans are not our equals. We do not know their power, the Zorlan representative interjected, his voice cool but filled with calculated wisdom. The Zorlans had long prided themselves on their intelligence and foresight. They weren't quick to make enemies, but they knew that underestimating humanity could be disastrous. The Black Star alone is enough to shake the foundation of our fleets. We must proceed cautiously. Around the room, other representatives nodded. The Zorlans' concern wasn't new to anyone. The humans had returned, and they had come prepared. What other surprises might they be hiding? What if they had more ships? More technology? More firepower? Could they truly afford to challenge them? The conversation shifted back and forth between those who believed humanity's return was a threat and those who wanted to learn more, to understand before acting. For the first time in many years, the Galactic Council was divided. "The humans offer peace," said the Terran leader, their voice calm and serene. The Terran were a species known for their neutrality and diplomatic skills, their focus always on understanding and reconciliation. "Perhaps it is worth considering. If Earth wanted war, they would have attacked already. We should at least listen to them. They only offer peace because they think we'll be too weak to fight them," retorted the Syrinx, slamming his fist down on the table, causing a tremor to ripple across the chamber. "They seek to intimidate us." The tension in the chamber thickened, with every delegate aware of the growing divide. Some were ready to defend their territories, some were wary of the humans, and others were hesitant to escalate matters without knowing the full extent of humanity's capabilities. "I believe we should send a message," the Zorlan delegate said after a long pause. "We must show strength, but we must also probe. Let's see how the humans respond to a show of force. We cannot afford to let them think they can walk into the arena without challenge." The room grew quiet as all eyes turned to the central screen, where the black star hovered silently, waiting for their next move. The ship was as imposing as ever, casting a long shadow over the arena. Its dark form stood against the endless void, waiting for the council's answer. Then, a new voice cut through the tension. A voice from the back of the room, soft and steady. "What if we don't need to fight at all?" This was Jessa, a delegate from the Urnix, a species known for their compassion and deep understanding of other cultures. "Why must we assume the worst of the humans? They have been silent for so long, but now they speak. Why not listen before we make our move?" The silence in the room deepened, the weight of her words settling over the gathered representatives. Jessa's plea was simple, yet powerful. She wasn't asking them to trust the humans blindly, she was asking them to consider the possibility that the humans weren't there to conquer or destroy, but to restore balance. "Think about it," Jessa continued, her eyes scanning the room. "If Earth had wanted to dominate, they would have come long before now. They've waited, watched, and now they've sent a message, an offer of peace. If we reject it, what will that do? If we attack them first, do we risk destroying the very thing that could help us?" The room fell into an uneasy silence. The Syrinx shifted in his seat, clearly displeased with the suggestion, but even he couldn't deny the power of Jessa's words. Could they really afford to reject humanity's peace offer? Would it spark a war they couldn't win? "We are in uncharted territory," the Zorlan representative said, his voice somber. "We do not know what the humans are capable of, but we cannot let fear dictate our actions. We need to find a way forward that doesn't end in conflict." The council continued to argue for hours, each race putting forward their own solution. But there was one thing they all agreed on: something had to be done. Earth's return had changed everything. Finally, the head of the council, an ancient species known as the Vrez, stood. Their towering form cast a long shadow over the room. The Vrez were known for their wisdom and their ability to see the bigger picture, and now, their voice commanded attention. "We will send a message," the Vrez leader announced. "But it will not be a declaration of war. It will be a message of challenge, one that tests humanity's true intentions. We will meet them in the arena, and we will see what they are made of." The room fell silent once more. The decision was made. The galaxy would not bow to Earth, nor would it immediately turn to war. Instead, they would challenge humanity in the one place where all species could be judged equally, the galactic arena. Humanity's return had sparked fear, and it had sparked hope. But now, the galaxy's fate would be decided by the next move, one that could either lead to peace or send them all hurtling toward the most catastrophic war the stars had ever seen. The galactic arena had always been a place of pride for the galaxy's most powerful species. It was where species from across the stars showcased their strength and prowess. But as the black star sat silently in the arena, a feeling of unease rippled through every corner. Today would be different. The black star had come to challenge the galaxy, not with diplomacy, not with begging, but with force. Earth had not come to negotiate. They had come to prove a point. A point that no one, not even the oldest empires, could deny: humanity was not weak. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Inside the Black Star, Commander Leah Sanders stood in front of the warship's command console, watching the holographic projections of the arena below. Her fingers were steady on the controls, but her mind was racing. She knew that today would change everything for Earth. The rest of the galaxy would see them not as a forgotten, small planet but as a force to be reckoned with. "Commander," said Lieutenant Ivor Khan, his voice calm but with a hint of concern. "The First Fleet is moving into position. They're showing signs of aggression." Leah nodded, feeling the tension in her chest. The alien forces were not here to talk. They were here to test humanity, to see if Earth's strength matched the rumors they had heard for centuries. "We're not here to back down," she said firmly, her voice carrying across the command deck. "Let them come. Show them what we're made of." The Black Star was massive, far larger than any ship the aliens had ever seen. Its weapons systems, powered by centuries of human ingenuity, were state-of-the-art, designed to tear through any fleet that dared to challenge it. But Leah wasn't sure how this would play out. She had always believed in peace, but the Council had forced her hand. Now, the time had come to defend humanity's place in the stars. Outside the Black Star, the alien fleet gathered, an intimidating formation of ships from all corners of the galaxy. The Zorlan Empire led the charge, their sleek, sharp vessels moving with precision. The Syrinx, their huge warships bristling with weapons, followed close behind. The rest of the galaxy's forces were ready, and they were prepared to show humanity what happened when a lesser species dared to rise above their place. "First wave incoming," Khan said, his voice tight. "They're locking on." The massive screen in front of them flashed as the first wave of alien ships moved into range. The tension in the air was almost unbearable. This wasn't just a battle, it was a statement. A challenge. The galaxy's most powerful fleets had gathered to test humanity's strength, and if Earth didn't pass this test, the galaxy would forever see them as weak, insignificant. "Prepare to fire," Leah ordered, her voice sharp. "Give them a reminder of why they should have never underestimated us." The Black Star's weapons systems hummed to life, and in an instant, the first wave of enemy ships was obliterated. The sound of energy weapons, deep and booming, echoed through the ship as its cannons fired. Massive blasts of energy shot out into space, tearing through the alien ships with ease. The first wave disintegrated before they even had a chance to return fire. Alien ships, once proud and fearsome, now scattered, fleeing the Black Star's devastating barrage. The Black Star didn't stop. It moved, smoothly and gracefully, cutting through the battlefield with calculated precision. Its weapons, designed for war, tore through the fleets like paper. But it was more than just power. The humans were showing the galaxy that they had learned how to fight, how to survive. The alien fleets regrouped, clearly stunned by the force of the attack. The Zorlans were the first to react, their ships darting through space with unparalleled speed. The Syrinx, usually unshakable in their confidence, hesitated, unsure of how to approach a threat this strong. They had never fought an opponent like this, an enemy that did not fear them. An enemy that fought back with a vengeance. Second wave, Khan said grimly, watching as the enemy ships made their move. They're regrouping. They won't back down this easily. Leah watched the incoming wave with a steady gaze. We didn't come here for mercy, she said softly, almost to herself. We came here to remind them that Earth isn't afraid. The second wave hit harder. Alien ships converged on the Black Star, firing everything they had. The Black Star rocked as blasts hit its shields, but they held strong. The warship's shields flickered but didn't collapse. It was clear now the humans had prepared for this day. They had not only built a ship for battle but a ship that could withstand the galaxy's finest attacks. The Black Star's response was swift and decisive. It fired back with a fury, launching devastating missiles and laser blasts that cut through the alien fleets with deadly precision. One by one, the alien ships fell, their once mighty forms reduced to burning husks in the cold vacuum of space. The first true battle of Earth's return had begun, and the galaxy's most powerful species were being forced to reconsider everything they had once believed about humanity. We've taken down the first wave, Khan said, his voice filled with awe. But they're still coming. Let them come, Leah said, a cold determination in her voice. We're just getting started. Outside, the galaxy watched in stunned silence as the Black Star tore through the alien fleets. The rest of the universe had been given a lesson in humanity's power, and it was a lesson that would not be forgotten. As the Black Star continued to fight, Leah couldn't help but feel the weight of what was happening. This was only the beginning. The universe had not seen Earth's true strength yet. But soon, they would. Soon, everyone would know that humanity was not to be ignored. The first battle had been won, but the war for the galaxy's respect was only just beginning. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. The battle between humanity and the galaxy's mightiest fleets raged on for hours, but the Black Star continued to prove its dominance. Alien ships once proud and powerful were reduced to floating debris. Humanity's warship tore through them with brutal efficiency, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The sounds of energy weapons, of ships being obliterated, echoed across the void. Yet, it wasn't just the devastation that had the galaxy's attention, it was the fact that Earth was doing this, and they weren't backing down. Commander Leah Sanders stood at the helm, her fingers moving deftly across the controls. The view screens displayed a battlefield of shattered ships, the once imposing fleets of the Zorlan Empire and the Syrinx now reduced to wreckage. The Black Star had taken hits, but its advanced shields had held strong. Earth had come prepared not just with firepower, but with the technology to survive against the galaxy's best. Commander, the last wave is retreating, said Lieutenant Ivor Khan, his voice filled with disbelief. The enemy fleets were pulling back, abandoning their attack. It seemed impossible, but it was happening. Humanity had done the unthinkable. They had pushed back the galaxy's greatest forces. Leah exhaled slowly, not allowing herself to relax just yet. The battle was far from over. But the retreating enemy ships were a victory in itself. They had come expecting Earth to cower, to beg for peace. Instead, they had faced a force unlike anything they had ever encountered. The humans had not only defended their place in the stars, they had claimed it. Across the galaxy, the news was spreading. The Zorlan, Syrinx, and all the other species who had witnessed the battle would never forget it. Humanity's arrival in the galactic arena was no longer just a moment of curiosity, it was a turning point. The galaxy had been shaken to its core, and the question now was, what would they do next? On the bridge of the Black Star, Leah allowed herself a brief moment of relief. The battle was over for now. But she knew the real challenge was just beginning. Outside, the remains of the once mighty alien fleets floated in space, a stark reminder of humanity's power. The Black Star was still moving, scanning the field for any remaining threats, but Leah's thoughts were already turning to the bigger picture. This victory, this display of strength, had given Earth a foothold in the galaxy, but it had also painted a target on their backs. The universe had watched them, and now they would have to face the consequences. "We've made our point," Leah said quietly, her voice low but filled with certainty. "But this isn't over. The galaxy won't forget what happened today." Ivor turned to her, his face grim. "What do we do now?" "We wait," she replied. "But we're not just waiting. We're preparing. The Black Star was only the beginning. Earth is not here to fight every battle. But we will not hide anymore. We will be seen." Back in the galactic arena, the alien leaders had gathered once again. They had witnessed the entire battle unfold, the power of the Black Star undeniable. The council chambers were filled with whispers and murmurs. No one knew what to say. No one knew what to do. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was uncertain. The ancient empires, who had once ruled the stars with ease, now found themselves staring at the possibility of a new power rising. Earth had shown them that they could no longer ignore humanity. No longer could they dismiss Earth as a primitive species, a forgotten relic of the past. The humans had returned, and they had come with fire in their hearts. "I told you," said the Zorlan delegate, his voice laced with a quiet, reluctant respect. "We cannot underestimate them." The Syrinx representative stood, his powerful figure towering over the others. His eyes burned with both frustration and respect. "They are a force to be reckoned with," he said, his voice gruff. "But we cannot let them think they have won." "Earth has made its move," said the Terran leader, his voice calm and steady. "But so must we." The room fell silent, the weight of the decision hanging heavily in the air. Would the galaxy bow to humanity's new power? Or would they challenge Earth, a new force they had never expected? The future was uncertain, and the stakes had never been higher. Meanwhile, aboard the Black Star, Commander Leah Sanders knew that the galaxy was not going to just accept humanity's place among them. Earth's victory had changed everything, but it had also ignited a new set of challenges. Some would come for peace, but others would come for war. And humanity would be ready, no matter which path the galaxy chose. The first battle had been won, but the war for Earth's place in the stars was only beginning. The universe had been shaken, and nothing would ever be the same again.